problem?
Some janky-ass scientist in a Chevy Volt just took my parking spot.
What? You have a parking spot? Seth, that is bullshit! I've been here 8 years!
It's in my contract.
You have a contract? And what are you talking about, some scientist?
I don't know. It was this loser in a lab coat.
A loser in a lab coat? Oh, no. That's Peter Meir. He's our science correspondent. He's not a real scientist. Seth! This is bullshit! Why is Peter here?
We're shooting the solar segment today. There was an email about it.
Hey Seth, it's Gonzalo here. Why do we need some nerd to come in? I know all about solar and stuff like that.
No. You're too stupid, pal. You know that.
Well, what about me, Seth? I actually know things.
Yeah, of course you do. But viewers aren't going to want to hear about science from a woman, I assume. Besides, it's Peter Muir. He has a lab coat. This would be great for ratings.
Hey guys, be a lot of fun today, right?
Hi, yeah,
wow,
it's
nice
gonna
to
be
meet
great.
you.
Can I get coffee?
And now your Plantain Action News team with Janelis Santos and Gonzalo Morera. Plantain Action News now.
Good evening, Miami. This is Janelis Santos with Gonzalo Moreira for Plantain Action News. Tonight's story is about solar energy, something you definitely plan on supporting in November. Isn't that right, you sweet, sweet idiots?
Yeah, what kind of monster is in favor of solar energy? It's so effervescent.
Why do you even try? But Gonzalo is right, sort of. Solar is one of those issues that basically everyone supports. According to a recent poll, a whopping 91% of US voters say that they support an increase in solar development, and that is a really large number. That's larger than the number of people who believe the moon landing happened.
Most deaf.
Or believe that the president was born in the United States.
You mean Barack Hussein Obama?
And way larger than the Rotten Tomatoes score for Legally Blonde, which is somehow only 66%, which is fucking ridiculous because that movie is a masterpiece. Indisputably a masterpiece.
It really is an excellent film.
Just last August, in fact, Florida voters approved by a 45-point margin in proposal that would provide a tax exemption to home and business owners with solar panels, so the value of those panels would be deducted from that property's assessment value. Now, with such a wide margin of victory, it should be almost no surprise what will happen when Floridians vote for Amendment 1, the Florida Solar Energy Subsidies and Personal Solar Use Amendment on November 8th.
Yeah, they're gonna legalize it. Yes on one. Suck it, energy companies.
And that's the problem with Florida's Amendment 1. It seems to almost everyone who reads it like it's promoting solar. It's even being sponsored by a group called Consumers for Smart Solar, which sounds all well and good until you dig into the group and find that Consumers for Smart Solar is actually a shill political organization for the state's largest energy companies, including Florida Power and Light, Duke Energy, Gulf Power, and the Tampa Electric Company, which sadly is not, as it sounds, a television show featuring a young meth addict Morgan Freeman, which would have been awesome.
What a deception. What a terrible, terrible deception.
It is. Just take a look at the proposal's ballot language. Let's start with the first line. This amendment establishes a right under Florida's Constitution for consumers to own or lease solar equipment installed on their property to generate electricity for their own use. That sounds great, doesn't it? Except you already have that right. Now, it is true this amendment, quote, guarantees it by placing it in the Constitution, but that is no more necessary than amending the Constitution to guarantee your right to use coffee creamers or post vaguely ominous status updates on Facebook.
Nobody cares if you lost your faith in humanity after today, Dianuka.
Now, the first sentence is pretty easy to understand, but then we get to the second sentence. State and local governments shall retain their abilities to protect consumer rights and public health, safety, and welfare, and to ensure that consumers who do not choose to install solar are not required to subsidize the cost of backup power and electric grid access to those who do.
What the hell does that even mean?
As a woman, my contract does not
You didn't have a contract.
allow me to explain what that means. So here comes Peter Meir,
the solar queer.
Meir makes science clear. Meir makes science clear.
Thanks, Janet. Now, you already have the right to have solar power. And before voting yes on Amendment 1, see this house here? They have power from the sun, and they get to save money. Now, voting yes for Amendment 1 gives you the constitutional right. That's actually the same thing you had before, the right to have solar power. Now, the second part of the amendment is where things get really strange. In the second part of the amendment, the power companies that use the grid want to make sure that your house, even though you're using solar power, you still have to pay for the grid's power. That's kind of strange, right? It's kind of like you had a messy divorce and you're still paying alimony to your wife, Linda, but it's been 2 years and she's already started a new life with Rod and you don't even see the kids anymore. It's kind of like that, but not exactly like that, but it's like that. Okay, well, back to you, Janet.
Thanks for doing a job I could have done myself, Peter. Now, because the second part of that ballot is so hard to understand, Florida's big energy companies are betting that most voters will just read the part about guaranteeing solar, ignore the rest, and will just assume they should vote yes. Now, call me cynical, but that sort of purposeful deception appears to me to be by design. And that wouldn't be so bad if our status quo was just a little bit better. But Florida, despite being known as a sunshine state, currently ranks only 25th in the nation for solar production, which is worse than it seems when you consider we are tied with Washington State, a place with literally no sun.
They have a black hole sun.
Ha! Good one, Gonzo!
I hate you, Peter.
Listen, our instincts, like those of a potted plant or Superman, are right to want to use the energy of our yellow sun to power us. And that is exactly what Florida's energy companies are betting on.
Wow, Janelis.
Janellis.
Well, would you say that Amendment 1 is just trying to keep Floridians in the dark?
More like trying to blow sunshine up our asses.
Political!
Shut up, Peter!
So you want some more Tostitos, Pete?
No!